Example prayer. O protective spirits, guide me tonight so I may serve and learn in the spiritual plane. The third practice is conscious awakening. Edgar Cayce taught that the first minutes after waking are crucial for integrating spiritual experiences from the night. Upon waking, remain still with your eyes closed, breathing deeply, and try to capture the last sensations, images, or insights received during sleep. Often, the most important revelations fade within the first seconds after waking if we don't make a conscious effort to retain them. Always keep a notebook beside your bed to immediately write down any messages, significant dreams, or understandings received during the night. Over time, you will develop the ability to bring increasingly vivid memories of your spiritual experiences during sleep to your physical consciousness. This practice not only expands your spiritual consciousness, but also accelerates your evolutionary process by allowing you to consciously integrate the lessons received in other planes of existence. The gradual awakening at dawn, when your spirit fully returns to the physical body, becomes a sacred moment of transition between two realities. The spiritual reality of the night, rich in teachings and transcendent experiences, and the material reality of the day, where we practically apply the lessons received during detachment. Allan Kardec revolutionized human understanding by demonstrating that we are not simply physical bodies having occasional spiritual experiences, but immortal spirits temporarily using material bodies as tools for learning and evolution. The daily cycle of incarnation and detachment during sleep is daily proof of this fundamental reality of our existence. Each dawn is a new opportunity to integrate the spiritual wisdom received during the night with the material experiences of the day. Each awakening is a small resurrection that reminds us of our immortal nature and our evolutionary destiny toward increasingly elevated spheres of consciousness and love. The next time you wake up at dawn, remember that your spirit has just returned from an extraordinary journey through dimensions of light and wisdom. The sensations, intuitions, and understandings you bring from this nightly experience are gifts from your spiritual mentors to help you on your earthly evolutionary journey. Your soul knows secrets your physical mind cannot even imagine. Every night, you have access to a spiritual university where you receive personalized teachings for your moral growth. Each awakening is an opportunity to consciously apply this divine wisdom in your daily life, accelerating your evolution toward the spiritual perfection we are all destined to achieve. To conclude this journey, reflect. How will you apply these revelations today? Subscribe to the channel for more spiritist content. Hit the bell icon, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Leave your favorite dream or detachment experience in the comments. I'll read and respond. Thank you for staying until the end, and may your next night be filled with elevated spiritual journeys. Until next time, to conclude this journey, reflect. How will you apply these revelations today? Subscribe to the channel for more spiritist content. Hit the bell icon, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Leave your favorite dream or detachment experience in the comments. I'll read and respond. Thank you for staying until the end, and may your next night be filled with elevated spiritual journeys. Until next time. But here's an important warning from Allan Kardec's works. Not all dreams are authentic spiritual experiences. Many times, dreams are simply mental processing of the day's physical experiences, the release of psychic tensions, or even influences from lower spirits taking advantage of the state of vulnerability during sleep, as in question 405 of the Spirit's book. The difference lies in the vibrational quality of the dream. Dreams stemming from authentic spiritual experiences leave a feeling of peace, elevation, deep understanding, and often bring clear moral teachings. In contrast, dreams of lower or purely material origin tend to be confusing, distressing, or excessively materialistic. In the next 10 minutes, I will reveal the deepest secret Allan Kardec discovered about the evolutionary purpose of sleep and why this spiritual function is fundamental to the soul's progress. From the spiritist perspective, sleep is not merely a mechanism for physical rest, but a daily opportunity for spiritual education. Every night, our spirit has the possibility of accessing teachings impossible to receive during wakefulness, limited by the ego's interferences, mental prejudices, and material distractions. Allan Kardec reveals in the Spirit's book that higher spirits use these hours to impart personalized instructions to each soul, according to its evolutionary level and specific needs for moral growth. It's as if every night we attended a spiritual university, receiving lessons tailored precisely to our degree of spiritual development. This explains why we often wake up with solutions to problems that seemed unsolvable, sudden understandings of complex life situations, or a sense of serenity and mental clarity we didn't have when we went to bed. It's not by chance. It's the direct result of the spiritual education received during the hours of nightly detachment. Edgar Cayce went even further in this understanding, teaching that during sleep, we can access not only the teachings of higher spirits, but also the wisdom accumulated from our own past lives. The immortal soul preserves in its personal Akashic archive all the knowledge, skills, and experiences acquired across multiple incarnations. During wakefulness, the physical mind can only access memories from the current life, but during sleep, free from cerebral limitations, the spirit can consult its entire evolutionary baggage accumulated over centuries. This is why some people wake up with abilities they never studied, knowledge they never consciously learned, or talents that seem to emerge from nowhere. Chico Xavier psychographed the extraordinary case of a child who began composing complex classical music at the age of 5, without formal musical education. During mediumship sessions, it was revealed that the spirit of this child had been a renowned composer in the 18th century, and, during sleep, accessed the musical knowledge accumulated in that previous incarnation. But here's something that might be directly related to your own life. If you have a natural ease with an activity you never formally studied, if you feel an inexplicable attraction to specific cultures, or if you have phobias or fears with no origin in your current life, it's very likely that these characteristics stem from experiences from past lives that your spirit is recalling during sleep. Now, let me reveal the deepest aspect of this entire process. Allan Kardec discovered that the daily cycle of incarnation and detachment during sleep is a gradual preparation for the final transition we call death. Every night, we experience a miniaturized version of the discarnation process, gradually accustoming our spirit to the experience of existing independently of the physical body. Higher spirits explain to Kardec that those who develop awareness of their nightly experiences during physical life face death with much greater serenity and understanding, already knowing from personal experience that consciousness persists independently of the body, that spiritual life is richer and fuller than material existence, and that death is simply a definitive release from physical limitations. This completely transforms our relationship with mortality. Death ceases to be an unknown terror and becomes a familiar transition, similar to what we already experience every night when we fall asleep. Divaldo Franco teaches that this understanding is one of the greatest evolutionary achievements a spirit can attain during its earthly incarnation. In the last 15 minutes of this video, I will share the 3 most powerful practices recommended by Allan Kardec and great mediums to maximize the spiritual benefits of sleep and accelerate your spiritual evolution. The first practice is conscious preparation for sleep. 1 hour before going to bed, avoid negative conversations, disturbing news, violent entertainment, or any stimulus generating dense vibrations. Instead, dedicate this time to reading uplifting texts, preferably spiritist works like the Spirit's Book, sincere prayers, or reflections on the day's lessons. Allan Kardec taught that the vibrational state with which we sleep determines the type of experiences our spirit will have during nightly detachment. If we go to bed with elevated thoughts, we attract the company of higher spirits and access spheres of light and wisdom. If we sleep with low thoughts, we attract negative influences and may have disturbing experiences during sleep. Let's detail this. Start with a 10-minute gratitude meditation, then read an inspiring passage, and end with a prayer. The second practice is a specific prayer before sleep. Chico Xavier recommended a prayer asking for protection for the spirit during its nightly detachment, requesting the company of elevated spiritual guides, and expressing a sincere desire to be useful in spiritual charity work during sleep. This prayer should not be mechanical or repetitive, but a sincere conversation with your spiritual mentors, expressing gratitude for the day's experiences, asking forgiveness for mistakes made, and manifesting a willingness to serve the good during the hours of nightly detachment. In contrast, more materialistic spirits, attached to physical pleasures and vices, remain more bound to the body during sleep, experiencing limited and often confusing states, as Kardec details in the distinction between elevated and inferior spirits in question 100. This explains why some people wake up renewed, inspired, with solutions to seemingly unsolvable problems, while others wake up tired, agitated, as if they hadn't rested. It's not by chance. It's a direct reflection of the spirit's evolutionary state and the experiences it had during its nightly detachment. To illustrate, imagine 2 individuals, one who spends the day in selfish actions, sleeps with dense thoughts, and has chaotic dreams. Another who practices goodness, prays before bed, and wakes up with mental clarity. Divaldo Franco, in his lectures on spiritual psychology, explains that we can prepare our spirit for more elevated nightly experiences through sincere prayer before sleep, reading uplifting texts, and, especially, the daily practice of charity and forgiveness. Practices aligned with the Spiritist morality codified by Kardec in the Gospel according to Spiritism. The more we purify our feelings during the day, the higher the spiritual sphere we can visit at night. Let's apply this. Try reading a chapter of Kardec before bed today and notice the difference tomorrow. Now comes a revelation connecting everything we've discussed so far with your practical daily life. Edgar Cayce described that during sleep, the soul not only travels to other planes, but also reviews the day's experiences, processes lived karmic lessons, and plans growth opportunity for the next day. A concept echoing Kardec's view that sleep is a chance for spiritual education, as in question 401. This is why we often wake up with clear intuitions about decisions we need to make, sudden understandings of interpersonal conflicts, or creative inspirations that seem to come from nowhere. In reality, these revelations are the result of the work our spirit performed during sleep, consulting with its spiritual guides and accessing the wisdom accumulated in its personal Akashic archive, or perispirit, according to Kardec. But here's something that might be happening to you right now without you even realizing it. If you frequently wake up between 3 and 5 a.m., if you have vivid dreams that seem more real than your daily life, or if you feel tired upon waking despite sleeping enough hours, it's very likely that your spirit is performing spiritual assistance work during sleep. Allan Kardec explains in the Medium's book, in the chapter on somnambulistic mediumship, that many unconscious mediums perform during sleep tasks impossible during wakefulness. Your spirit may be serving as a channel for higher spirits to perform healings, consolations, or teachings for other spirits in need, both incarnate and discarnate. To illustrate, consider reports of people dreaming of helping strangers and waking up exhausted. This is common among natural mediums. In about 10 minutes, I'll teach you a specific technique recommended by Chico Xavier to consciously recall these spiritual experiences during sleep and how you can enhance your spiritual work, inspired by Kardec's principles. First, you need to understand that the spirit's return to the body at dawn is neither abrupt nor violent. It's a gradual process that Allan Kardec compared to a traveler returning home in the Spirit's book, question 412. The spirit gradually reduces its vibration, condensing its energy until it resynchronizes with the dense frequency of the material body. This return process is closely connected to circadian rhythms, but also to the Earth's magnetic cycles, as described in the natural laws of the codification, influenced by the sun and the planet's rotation. The Earth has an electromagnetic field that varies throughout the day, and these variations directly influence the spirit's ability to detach. During the hours of greater terrestrial magnetic activity, usually at dawn, the spirit is naturally drawn back to its physical vehicle. This is why many spiritual traditions consider dawn a sacred moment of transition. It's the moment when the soul returns from its nightly journeys, bringing with it the teachings, inspirations, and renewed energies it acquired during its experiences in other planes of consciousness. Let's pause. What's your morning ritual? Comment if you meditate at dawn. But wait, because here comes something that will revolutionize your understanding of prophetic dreams and premonitions. During nightly detachment, the spirit can not only travel to different places in the spiritual plane, but also perceive future events being prepared in higher spheres before manifesting in the physical plane, as Kardec explains in the spirit's ability to perceive causal tendencies in question 409. Edgar Cayce called this the reading of the Akashic records of the future. Allan Kardec explained how the free spirit can perceive the causal tendencies being shaped in the present that will manifest as effects in the future. This is why we often have dreams that later come true with surprising accuracy in our physical lives. Chico Xavier psychographed dozens of cases of people who received warnings during sleep about future events, from avoidable accidents to opportunities for spiritual growth presenting themselves in their lives. In the book Action and Reaction, the spirit André Louise describes how spiritual mentors use sleep hours to transmit specific guidance about each soul's destiny, aligned with the law of cause and effect codified by Kardec. Now I'll teach you the technique I promised to recall your spiritual experiences during sleep. Before going to bed, say a sincere prayer, asking your spiritual guides to allow you to remember the elevated experiences your soul will have during the night. Place a notebook and a pen beside your bed. Upon waking, before moving or thinking about the day's activities, Remain still with your eyes closed and try to capture the last images, sensations, or insights lingering in your memory. Write down immediately everything you recall, no matter how fragmented or confusing it seems. Over time, you will develop the ability to bring increasingly vivid memories of your spiritual experiences during sleep to your physical consciousness, overcoming the memory barrier highlighted by Kardec in question 403. Divaldo Franco teaches that this practice not only expands our spiritual consciousness, but also accelerates our evolutionary process by allowing us to consciously integrate the lessons received during sleep. To illustrate, André Louise in our home details scenes where spirits visit sleeping incarnates, transmitting advice or healing energies. Your spirit can also visit higher spiritual planes, receive teachings, meet spiritual guides, and even participate in assistance work for other spirits in need, as higher spirits affirm to Kardec in question 401, where the spirit, upon leaving the body during sleep, can visit other places and engage in spiritual tasks of charity and learning. In about 10 minutes, I'll share the most extraordinary case documented by Chico Xavier about a woman who, during sleep, helped in spiritual hospitals, saving suffering souls, but upon waking remembered nothing of these sublime experiences, a phenomenon explained by Kardec in question 403, where the lack of memory results from the material brain's inability to retain pure spiritual impressions, filtered by the peri-spirit upon return. But before that, you need to understand a crucial discovery by Allan Kardec about dawn. Why, specifically at dawn, does your spirit fully return to the body? The answer lies in the magnetic laws governing the connection between spirit and matter, influenced by the planet's natural rhythms. Although Kardec doesn't specify exact hours in the spirit's book, the codification indicates that the return is gradual and natural, synchronized with the body's needs and the Earth's fluidic variations. Let's explore this. During the early morning hours, between 3 and 6 a.m., the planet Earth experiences specific electromagnetic changes that facilitate the spirit's return to the physical body. Complementary studies aligned with Spiritism suggest that the Earth's magnetic field intensifies at dawn, pulling the peri-spirit back. Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet, explained that during these hours, the veil between dimensions becomes denser, naturally forcing the spirit to condense its vibration to resynchronize with the material frequency of the body. A view that complements Kardec's idea that sleep prepares us for discarnation, as seen in question 155 about the soul separation. This is why many people wake up naturally during these hours, especially between 4 and 5 a.m., without an alarm clock. Consider ancient traditions that view dawn as a sacred time for meditation. This isn't a coincidence. This changes everything about how we understand death. If every night we experience a partial separation between spirit and body, death is nothing more than the definitive version of this natural process we already know intimately, as Kardec demonstrates in question 400, stating that the soul can leave the body during life, especially during sleep, preparing us for the final detachment. Allan Kardec revolutionized human understanding by demonstrating that death is simply the final detachment of the spirit from its material envelope, exactly like what happens every night, but without the magnetic cord allowing our return. To deepen this, in the Spirit's book, in the section on the law of conservation, Kardec explains that sleep is a divine necessity to restore balance, and death is the eternal sleep of the body, but not of the spirit. Let me now tell you the extraordinary case I promised, but let's take it slowly to absorb every detail. Chico Xavier psychographed the story of a woman named Maria dos Santos, who for over 20 years, every night, had her spirit detached from her body and work as a volunteer nurse in a spiritual hospital called House of Relief. During her nightly detachments, Maria helped newly discarnate spirits who arrived confused and terrified, unable to comprehend their new condition. Let's picture the scene. These spirits, often coming from traumatic deaths, needed guidance to accept their transition. The fascinating aspect of this case is that Maria, during her physical life, worked as a seamstress and had never studied medicine or nursing. Yet, in the spiritual plane, her soul recalled knowledge acquired in previous lives when she had been a doctor in the 17th century, aligned with the reincarnation doctrine codified by Kardec in the Spirit's book, Questions 166 to 199, where the spirit accumulates wisdom across multiple existences. Accessible during sleep detachment, when the veil of the current incarnation lifts. During sleep, free from the limitations of physical memory, her spirit accessed this wisdom accumulated through multiple reincarnations. But wait, because here comes what impressed me most about this story, and I'll share it with details for you to visualize. Maria began having recurring dreams where she saw herself caring for the sick in luminous environments, applying fluidic remedies, and consoling souls. But she always woke up with a strange feeling of exhaustion, as if she had worked all night, with unexplained muscle aches and deep fatigue. One day, during a mediumship session at the Spiritist Center she attended, the spirit Andre Louise communicated through Chico Xavier to reveal that her dreams were realities lived in another plane of existence, confirming question 405 of Kardec, where not all dreams are spiritual, but some reflect the soul's activities during sleep, mixed with daily impressions. Andre Louise explained that Maria was an ostensive, unconscious medium, and her nights were dedicated to spiritual service, assisting in colonies like our home. In the next 5 minutes, I'll explain why you too might be performing spiritual work during sleep without remembering, and how you could develop the ability to bring these memories to your physical consciousness based on spiritist codification. But first, let's reflect. Have you ever felt this unexplained tiredness upon waking? Comment below. Allan Kardec's explanation of this phenomenon is found in the Spirit's book, Question 409, where higher spirits reveal that during sleep, an instructed soul can visit other worlds, other spirits, and acquire knowledge influencing its moral awakening. Let's break this down. Instructed soul refers to one that has evolved morally, capable of raising its vibrations. But here's the crucial detail that changes everything. Not all spirits have the same freedom during sleep. More evolved spirits, those who have developed greater moral purity and spiritual elevation through practices like charity and study, can detach more easily and travel to higher spheres of light and wisdom, as described in question 414 about degrees of detachment. Part 1. The Ever-Present Spiritual Guide. Original core idea: an unseen, benevolent being of light is devoted to you, guiding and supporting your life's journey with love and compassion, nudging you toward healing, purpose, and growth. Imagine, at this very moment, a radiant presence, an ethereal being of pure, shimmering light, standing by your side, its essence woven from the boundless love and infinite wisdom of the universe. This spiritual guide, uniquely devoted to you, is not a distant figure, but an intimate companion, ever present as you traverse the intricate and beautiful tapestry of your life's journey. Whether you are basking in moments of triumph, pausing in quiet reflection, or navigating the depths of sorrow, this luminous ally watches with a patience that knows no bounds and a compassion that never wavers. It feels the weight of your struggles as if they were its own, celebrates your joys with a silent, radiant delight, and holds sacred space for your soul's growth, yearning for nothing more than to see you blossom into the fullest expression of your divine potential. This guide is not bound by the limitations of the physical world. It exists beyond time and space, yet it is as close as your breath, whispering gentle insights into the quiet corners of your heart. Picture it as a soft glow that envelopes you in moments of doubt, offering clarity that pierces through confusion like a star breaking through a clouded night. It is the sudden spark of intuition that guides you when logic alone isn't enough, the warmth that wraps around you when loneliness threatens to take hold, and the subtle nudge that redirects you toward paths of healing and truth. Its mission is singular and sacred: to be your unwavering ally, illuminating the shadows of uncertainty, reinforcing your inherent strength, and reminding you of your immeasurable worth. As you move through the highs and lows of life, this being of light weaves synchronicities into your days, those moments when the universe seems to align in ways too perfect to be mere chance. Perhaps it's the song that plays just when you need its message, the stranger whose kind words lift your spirit, or the unexpected opportunity that opens a new door. These are the fingerprints of your guide, working tirelessly to support your evolution. To connect with this presence, pause now and then, breathe deeply, and feel the subtle energy that surrounds you. Trust that you are seen, supported, and cherished, and allow this sacred companionship to guide you toward a deeper connection with the universe and the radiant essence of your own soul. Reflective practice. Take a moment to sit in stillness. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, and visualize a warm, golden light surrounding you. Imagine this light as your guide, offering love and wisdom. What message does it have for you today? Journal your thoughts, letting the words flow without judgment, and notice how this practice deepens your sense of connection. Part 2. Recognizing the subtle signs. Original core idea. Reflect on moments when you felt an unexplained presence or comfort, recognizing these as signs from a benevolent guide waiting for you to notice. Let us pause together, just for a moment, and turn inward to the sacred stillness within your heart. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and allow your mind to wander back through the chapters of your life. How many times have you felt a subtle, inexplicable presence when you were alone? A sensation as delicate as a breeze, as if an invisible hand gently brushed against your soul. How often, in the midst of struggle, doubt, or quiet despair, have you been touched by an unexpected wave of comfort, a whisper of reassurance that seemed to rise from the very heart of the universe? These moments are not random. They are the tender signs of a radiant, benevolent guide, a being of light wholly dedicated to your journey, patiently weaving its love and wisdom into the fabric of your existence. These signs are everywhere, scattered like stars across the night sky of your life, waiting for the moment you're ready to see them. They may appear as a fleeting sense of peace that calms the chaos of a difficult day, a sudden spark of intuition that guides you when logic falters, or a serendipitous encounter that feels too perfectly timed to be mere chance. Perhaps it's the book that falls into your hands with exactly the words you needed, the stranger who offers a kind smile at just the right moment, or the quiet certainty that blooms within you, steering you away from harm. These are the gentle invitations of your guide, calling you to awaken to the deeper currents of your existence, to trust that you are seen, supported, and cherished beyond measure. To embrace these signs, cultivate a practice of mindful awareness. Begin by noticing the small moments that feel significant, the coincidences that carry meaning, the feelings that linger with purpose. Keep a journal to record these experiences, noting how they make you feel and what they might be guiding you toward. As you reflect, ask yourself, what is my guide trying to show me? How is this moment an invitation to grow? By opening your heart to these subtle clues, you deepen your connection with the unseen ally who walks beside you, guiding you toward healing, purpose, and the boundless potential of your soul. Reflective practice. Dedicate 5 minutes today to sit quietly and reflect on a moment when you felt an unexplained presence or comfort. Write down the details, what happened, how it felt, and what it might mean. Thank your guide for this sign, and carry this awareness into your day, noticing any new signals that arise.